What is up guys, HBFC here, bringing a quick review of Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Haven't done a review in a while and I just felt like doing something different, and well, one does not simply play Shadow of Mordor and not give it a fitting review. Well, unless you don't want to. So anyway, the game is set between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and you plays a ranger called Talion, who is killed whilst guarding the Black Gate along with his wife and son at the hands of Sauron's army. But Talion's banished from death and resurrected with wraith-like abilities and heads out into Mordor to exact his revenge, and I'll leave the story there for spoilers' sake. So it's an open-world, third-person action game set in, well, Mordor. And there's actually two different maps. There's a very sort of grim-looking, darker Mordor, and then there's the other map for the second part of the game, which is like slightly more greener and somewhat happier looking. They both look cool anyway. So there's no denying the gameplay is clearly inspired by the Assassin's Creed series and the Batman Arkham games, but to me it felt much more Batman Arkham than Assassin's Creed, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not one of those gamers that just calls games rip-offs because they borrow some elements from other games. And why do gamers do that? So the combat and the stealth is very similar to the Batman games, and the climbing's sort of like that parkour style from Assassin's Creed. There's also towers as well, very similar to Assassin's Creed, where you climb them, activate them, you kind of open up the area on that part of the map. The combat is definitely one of the game's biggest strengths. It's a hell of a lot of fun. You're going to be doing a lot of it. It uses that free flow style with the countering and those, you know, really fluid animations. You move from enemy to enemy. It looks really cool and awesome, and it's really brutal as well. There's some nasty ways to kill these orcs. Some really sick looking finishing moves, like just sticking a sword straight through their head, slashing their throat, having them fall on the sword. One of my personal favourites, taking their head clean off, and better yet, when you watch it fly away in slow motion. There's something incredibly satisfying about taking their heads. Yeah, the combat is just so much fun. I got really carried away with it. I spent so much time just beheading orcs. I just couldn't help it. I'd be moving along the map, trying to head towards a mission or just exploring, and I'd spot a bunch of enemies. I'm like, dude, I'm taking their heads, and I'd go and slaughter them. I nearly wiped out the entire population of Mordor, seriously. You can take the stealth approach as well, sneak around, pick them off one by one, you can climb up top, get a good vantage point, scope out the area, you can hide in bushes, you can kill them from above, you can also do ledge kills as well. Again, it's a lot of fun, it's well implemented, but me personally, I like them to know that I'm there and I just charge in, screaming like a madman, and just take their damn heads. Now, one of the most unique and interesting things about the game, which helps separate it from the others, is what's called the Nemesis System. So this makes your encounters and the battles and the outcomes of them very interesting and meaningful. So your enemies are split up into three basic ranks. You've got your war chiefs, who are the most powerful at the top, you've got the captains, and you've got your regular grunts. So say for instance a regular enemy kills you in battle, he'll then be mortared and enter the Nemesis System. If he kills you again, it'll get even more powerful and eventually could become a war chief. The longer enemies are in the system and the more times they kill you, the more powerful they're going to get. And sometimes they actually fight amongst each other, battling it out, and that can change as well. But one of the coolest things is the enemies remember your encounters. So say for instance an enemy kills you and you go back to fight him again, he's going to remember that he's already killed you once and you'll acknowledge it in some way, which is pretty cool.
So you return from the dead. No matter. I will send you back there again.
It's a very interesting, cool feature. It's pretty awesome watching it sort of play out and watching it change and stuff and trying to take down the war chiefs and what have you. It's a really awesome system. It's definitely one of the best things about the game. So on the overworld, you've got your main missions. Now, they are fun, but they're probably the least interesting part of the game. The side missions as well, which are a lot of fun. A lot of them are weapon specific, like for your bow, for your sword, and for your dagger. For instance, you know, kill this many enemies in this amount of time with a bow, score this many headshots, all that sort of stuff. Graphically, it's a very good looking game, although I'm talking about the PC version, I can't speak for the consoles, but it's a very pretty looking game, especially say at night, for instance, when it's just absolutely pouring down with rain. That looks pretty cool. Voice acting spot on, very well done. I mean, Troy Baker does the voice of Talion, so, you know, he's one of the best, but all the orcs are a really cool voice as well.
Let's see you dance with your bones smashed.
But one question, why are they all cockneys? Like seriously, every single one of them is a cockney. What's that all about? The only real issues I have with the game is sometimes the camera can be a little bit awkward, sometimes it zooms in a bit too close and you can't really see when you're being attacked. I did get hit one too many times because of the camera, and sometimes it does sort of get caught behind objects that you can't really see, but for the most part, it's alright. Sometimes the climbing can be a little bit awkward. It's definitely not as fluid as Assassin's Creed. Again, for the most part it's fine, but there were a few occasions where I was shouting, "Climb, you bastard, climb," because, well, it wasn't being as responsive as I'd like. But I guess my biggest issue with the game came at the end. Small spoiler alert, you do face Sauron as the final battle, but it's not some epic final showdown. It's a QuickTime event. Like a 10-second QuickTime event. That's the final sequence. And what a terrible, terrible way to end, with a goddamn QuickTime event. Why? What is this obsession with QuickTime events with games these days? They're so shit. They're bad enough anyway, but to to finish a game off on one, that's just, I don't know, it just comes off as lazy, and it's just so uncreative, and like seriously, that really annoyed me. It was a real shame that that's how the game ended. A quick time event. Just stop with the quick time events. Seriously, stop with the freaking quick time events. They are so dumb. But overall, it's an absolutely fantastic game. Those issues aside, you know, I'm very disappointed with the ending, but it's still a brilliant game. I had a feeling it was going to be a good game. I was quite confident, but it exceeded my expectations. It was better than I imagined. It was really freaking good. Best Lord of the Rings / Middle-earth game ever. It really is good. There's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of fun outside. The combat's brilliant. It's brutal. The Nemesis System is really unique and interesting. Great graphics, great voice work. Yeah, it's just an absolutely brilliant game. I actually 100% complete the game, which is something I don't normally do now with most games. I do tend to get that percentage system with the open world games, and usually I can't be bothered. But this one was like, dude, this is so much fun. I'm 100% in this sumbitch, and I did. And I loved every second of it. And I think I put over 25 hours in. So it's a decent length, and I can see myself going back to it as well, just to behead some more enemies. So it's awesome. Highly recommend the game. If you haven't got it already, then buy, you fools. Although, hear that in Gandalf's voice, it sounds better. So there you go, that's my quick review of Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Later.